have, although all our elders, community, family members, but it doesn't work. If it will come to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to violate or to be against the natural way of life, it doesn't make sense. I cannot. We have earth, heavens, we have Allah's signs everywhere, and you're telling me that idols, we are gonna sacrifice and ransom to idols? It doesn't work. And everyone has started to isolate himself, which is okay. If you will be in a situation that you will have only two options, either to be amongst the whole mainstream of corruption or to isolate yourself, or what Muhammad did, migrate. It can be a migration from a city to another one, or migration from haram to halal, or migration from living from the human being to be just somewhere else isolated. And the Prophet said at the time for this ummah, and it happened unfortunately, يأتي زمان على أمتي, it will be a time for this ummah, the best risk, the best sustenance, the best business will be for any one of you, few goats. He will take them and go to the top of the mountain, stay there, doing what he can do, avoiding dealing, mixing with people, because he's worrying about being exposed to tribulation and fitna. The Prophet is saying it will be a time that it will be fine, because being mixed more and more, you will see yourself, oh man, something is wrong. I have been accustomed to stuff that I have never been to. Now before I used to say that's haram, and right now I have been dealing with the guys, don't shake hands with them, and I never did. But right now, it has become like a habit. What I can do? A fitna after fitna after fitna. Before I used to lower my gaze, and I used to protect my modesty, and right now, because of the fellowship that I'm amongst, it doesn't work. And I have started before, I used to have a resistance from the ma'asiyah, the disobedience. And right now, because I have been away from the righteous fellowship, from the classes, from the deen of Allah, it was the same stuff that I used to be away from and hate. Right now it has become natural. Oh man, it was not the same feeling that I used to get long time ago. And that is the way of the human being, the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the heart. The way you are going to adopt the heart, it's going to be the way the heart will act. It's exactly the same way. The youth said, we cannot do it. We have to avoid that group. We will not fight against them. But we cannot also be with them. Because some of the brothers and sisters, what I can do, man? It's just like the Quran, everyone is doing the same. I know it's wrong, but what I can do? I have all of my friends are just like watches those kind of TVs and those kind of programs, and what I can do? I know it's haram, but I hate it, but fine. What I can do? Is it correct? Same way, what I can do with the kids, their friends at schools are doing so and so and so. You have to do. You have to act. Somehow, you will take an action. Even if it will be an extent that you will leave the whole place, that you are sure that you will get a tribulation in. What the guy who killed the 99 guys did, what he did, he stayed in the same place, he left. And that was the advice of the scholar. He told him, leave that corrupted place. You have to leave and go out of that corrupted fellowship and go to another one that has some righteous guys. Be with them, stick to them, hang around with them. They will support you to obey Allah. And now we can understand why the Prophet said, Al-mar'u ala dini khalili, falyanzur ahadukum man yukhali. The Prophet saying the human being is almost on the religion of his intimate friend. It doesn't matter what you were at the beginning. If you are going to keep sticking, have an intimate friendship with a corrupted guy, one day you will be on his deen, wal-'iyadhu billah. You will be like him. فَلْيَنْظُرْ أَحَدُكُمْ مَنْ يُخَالِلْ. Be careful whom you are going to use as an intimate friend, as a close friend, as a sahib, And everyone did the same with his village. And they left. And the narration said, the first one who started, he came to one of the trees and he just stopped by. He tried to isolate his people, to isolate himself from the tribe. And he went next to this tree. And everyone did the same and came by next to the first one under the same tree, and they don't know one another. Listen. And even no one of them know the story of one another. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-arwahu junudun mujannada. Souls are the soldiers of Allah. And they are gonna go ما تعارف منها ائتلف وما تناكر منها اختلف. Whatever is matching, what is to say for the marriage or counseling, the best fit. Whomever has the best fit with one another, they will come together. And whomever has a difference or a conflict or a dispute with one another, they will go away from one another. To the extent, listen to that saying. It has been said, if a believer has come to a session that has 40 persons and all of them are hypocrites except one believer, a believer has come to a session.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allah.
والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. The narration of the Prophet ﷺ is given one of the secrets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about souls. That the souls are the soldiers of Allah. Al-arwahu junudun mujannada. It's doing nothing but the instruction of the one who created them. ما تعارف منها ائتلف وما تنافر or تناكر منها اختلف. Whatever is matching one another, they will come together. And whatever is different from one another, they will leave one another. They will be away from one another. And as the narration said, as I said about that saying, لو دخل مؤمن إلى جمع فيه مؤمن واحد كله منافقون. If a believer is going to come in a session, in a gathering that has all of them hypocrites except one believer, لجلس بجوار المؤمن دون أن يعرفه. He's going to come and sit next to the believer without knowing him. ولو دخل منافق, and if a hypocrite is going to come into a session that all of them are believers except one hypocrite, he's going to come and sit next to the hypocrite without knowing him. And the Prophet said, الأرواح جنود مجندة ما تعارف منها ائتلف وما تنافر تناكر منها اختلف. Whichever has the same match, same attribute, same feeling, they will come together. They will come together. And whatever is not, they will be away from one another. Those youth have come next to one another without knowing even the story of one another. Without knowing even one another in advance. And they have started to look at one another, because sometimes you have done something good, but you don't know exactly who is next to you. Is it a guy from the CIA? Is it a guy from the FBI? Is it a guy from the intelligence? What's wrong? Just, yeah, fine. How are you, man? Everything is fine, good. How's it going on? And by the end, it's just, guys, what's going on? And one of them said, just like, no, man, tell me exactly what's your problem. Why you are here? Oh, and one of them has started. And whenever he is saying a statement, all of them are saying at the same, exactly we did. Exactly we did. I've seen my people worshipping other than Allah, worshipping idols, and it doesn't make sense for me, the one who created earth and heavens. Something is wrong. There is no way for those idols to be the creators. There is no way for those idols who will never benefit me, will never harm me, to be the one that I have to worship. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't match the logic and concept. And everyone has said, we have done the same. Everyone has done the same exactly. And that is the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described in the chapter. He said, then what's wrong? What we are gonna do? Now they got, even if you are in a corrupted place, but you have found a good, a righteous gathering, you can stay, because you are gonna support one another. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was in Dar al-Arqam with a few, in front of all of those. That's fine, because they are still, they can support one another. When it came to an extent that it was not working, he has given the instruction to some of them, go to Abyssinia, because it will not work for the first time. And it was the second one to Abyssinia. And some who were able to stay next, those weak guys who could not, the slaves who could not, or the weak guys who could not come with the gathering to support their Imam. The Prophet told them, go right now. Just فر بدينك. Flee, escape with your deen. Even in a Christian country. Because the guy there, I know him very well. No one will be oppressed in his land. Najashi, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him. Because Najashi has accepted Islam before his death. And Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has prayed the absence prayer, Salat al-Ghaib, on him to show everyone that Najashi made as Muslim. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed on his behalf a verse in the Quran that we are reciting till the day of judgment. They said, fine, now we used to say, just like they used to say in the West, guys, now we made it. We are almost the same team. We are almost, we can come along. Because I cannot deal with those guys who are, we are not the same. Now we are speaking the same language. And they said, that's fine. Let's meet with one another every day. Let's advise one another. Let's learn the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with one another. And they have agreed on a place, like a masjid or a session. They are going to come in every day, meet with one another, praying, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reminding one another with the oneness of Allah. Till some of the guys who are there everywhere, every time, have come to know about them, and they have carried the message to that crazy king. What they said, the Qiyanos, whatever, doesn't matter what's his name. And they have carried the message, oh, some guys are terrible. They are purified. Terrible. That's what they used to call terrible. Why are terrible? Purified. Why? What are the definitions of terrorists in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years? A beard? Praying Fajr? I'm serious. Forget about the Fox News and Dogs News and Crocodile News. Or just like, that's the reality. If you would like to go deeply and know exactly how do you want to define extremists or terrorists, it's like, that's the feature that we, oh, the guy who has a beard, the guy who has a hat, the one, he's coming, man, he's praying 5 times. 5 times, it's a problem, 5 times. To pray 5 times and wake up for Fajr and the sister has niqab, oh, it's a disaster. That's an act of retardation and that's uncivilized, and that's the accusation. They said, and I need you to make sure that you will not worry at all, because your leader has gone through the same. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And it's a concept. He has been accused by, at the beginning his title was the honest, the truthful, before inviting them to Islam. Just a minute after inviting his people, his relatives to Islam, he has become the magician, the crazy, and so on and so forth. That's it. And that's normal. They have carried the message to the king, and those guys, see, they have isolated themselves, and they're gonna try to make, in order for the new to be attractive, the way with the crazy media, the propaganda. See, they have isolated themselves. They don't like your system. They are attacking they are. And the king said, oh, what are those guys? You just bring them. He brought them. They have been arrested. What's the deal? He said, it's very simple. We cannot worship idols. That's the only way. Just Allah has created earth and heaven, and there is no way those guys are, even our relatives, are worshipping idols. I will not do that. I'm trying to give you the story, then I'll go again to the verses, but because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has described their stories not in the same sequence, in a different way, based on action.